if forever there's anything, that can be done, petitioning your MPs. I know that, some of them, yeah, you may do it, and it never gets anywhere. But if there's ever, what I've noticed with them, whenever there's something that is circulating, they pay attention, to it. And you see them with some statements, or you just say, or you just say, or you just say. I think the more we engage in that participation, like what you're saying, Guti, let people be seized with matters that are important. Zvimwe zvese izvo, zvinenge zvingoitwa izvo kaizvo, put them, to the side. But it's very important. Focus on those things. Put your energy there. Engage, in the conversations. Anosvika chete mashoko anofamba, vanhu vaMwari anosvika. They will get there. But thank you very much, Mkoma Kimberly. I hope you had a very good Christmas. Right. Ndaba, how you doing?
Vasekulu,
Yeah.
munjani.
Mina me okay.
Ya kutsila kobutswa njiba yolala yakagogotila lutabi. That's what the Kalanga people from the southern region of our country say. Ukuthi udubo lubuzwa ijuba elilala linamathela ugatsha. Chinoziva nhamo ishiri inorara yakanamira pa chitanda. So
Right. Baba's the mood.
yeah, ndipo patiri, we are in deep trouble
Right.
because we are ruled by people who have redefined corruption from being a scourge to a profession.
Right.
I lack terms to define how docile we are as Zimbabweans when such things are brought to us by the Auditor General. It is my assumption that the Auditor General will end up losing interest in updating us on the going on with our finances as citizens, because we are given information and do nothing. Where on earth have you seen curtains or just a house renovation going up to 400 and something Ks? Who approved that? It is the parliament. I heard you, or it was Kimberly who said, it was you who said we can petition parliamentarians. Those are useless people to petition, according to my observation, because they are in the line too to receive those perks. They are the very people who approved that money. They approve looting. That's why I'm calling it a profession now, rather than a scourge. We need to make noise, honestly, because if you look at the statistics of road accidents this festive season alone, I'm dropping tears as I speak.
Oh no!
But we have got an individual who is bold enough to loot close to 500,000. Honestly, usizi solwa ngaphi ebantwini? Where is shame? It's up to us to hold these people accountable, as Kimberly has said. There are so many ways we can hold them accountable. As we are gathered here, we are holding them accountable. They are hearing. And I wish any Muragashi to come here and defend this nonsense right now. Probably that will give me more content to contribute, Sekur. For now, let me breathe.
Thank you very much, Nkomandaba. Thank you very much, for that. Yeah. Ndataura paipai ndikataura kuti muzati each auditor general report that is put out there. I know they say with this, they discuss some of these things, in parliament, etc. But each report and the fact that nothing happens, you are finding it is now it is now just a textbook exercise. Because these auditor generals, they are doing all they can to uncover some of these things. They put them out there. They must be interrogated. They must be investigated. I know Kutizo, it's not like, should be saying that, or should be making an accusation that somebody has stolen, some money. Explicit. But there's a need for a follow-up. There's a need for something, to happen in terms of looking at these, things that are not normal. Whenever there is something, that is missing, it is flagged. And the reason for doing that is so that an investigation can be done or clarity can be given as to what happened, as to why we are finding ourselves in this situation. But in our nation, no, those reports are just for beautifying some shelves. I don't know where they are kept, but it's probably for beautifying some shelves and ticking the box that this year or this financial year the auditor general has done their work. That is not what we want. When these things are put out there, I hope in Parliament, Castron is saying that they're going to be looking into it. I hope they do look into this, and hopefully we'll get clarity as to what happened. Because it's being said that there's a threshold. Any amount to this level, then it needs to go to tender, to the tender process. We need to find out if no tender was put out there, what was the reason for not going to tender. We need a justification of the expenditure, like what you are saying with a house, a private residence. You're saying a president, we senator. Yes, andizoma-pex ekubasa kwemunhu hanzi zvakafanana newewewe ukange uri pabasa pako iwewe, kamani yako inogona kupa mapex ako iwewe. But 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 can the amount be justified? Yes, we know kuti kune mapex anopiwa vanhu, but can the amount be justified? That is the big question. And the processes, are they being followed? That is another big question. So these are the things that we really need to be seized with. And those that have got the expertise to be looking into this, we expect them to be at the forefront, feeding back to us. Vachitiudza kuti azvishuwa ichi apapa pakavhiringika, kuti aiwa apa hapana kuvhiringika apa, pamwe kuongororwa kwakaita hakuna kuburitsa chokwadi chese pachena. But information is missing, and here is the information. But we don't seem to get that. We don't get that. Sorry. We don't seem to get that. All what we get is this, and when we make noise about this, we get attacked. Bartholomew, what do you say?
Let Barakashi come here.
Ango Jedzi.
What do you say?
Ango Jedzi.
Ngavauya zvavo.
Tamirira kuti timborakasha South Africa panapa manje so.
Okay. What you give us?
Anyway, Ango Jedzi muri sei zvenyu ikoko nana Mofu.
Tribo.
angojets maketeni ari kunzi akaita mari maketeni
Anaira $64,000.
$64,000 maketeni chete.
Yeah.
Okay, munoona kuti angojets ipapa apa ndipo patinofana kumeka sure kuti vanhu vatobatwa kunzi tiri kuda munhu akaauthorize payment iyoyo, nokuti uyu handiti anonzi mai ari bude zuva chichiya vanonzi ivo hani muri kurimemba nganja kuti president ainzi hanzi haana chaaiziva zvichiitika handiti. Isi tiri kuda munhu akaauthorize that. Then the next question will be mai ari bude rimwe zuva hazvina kumbobvira zvasvikaonekwa vari, because angojedzika it's very strange kuti izvezvika paimba pamuri kugara ipapo zvinhu zvoitwa zvigopera musina kana idea, musina any approval kuti ichivo aiwa kamumba mamunogara angojedzika munototaura kuti apa ndikuda chakati nechakati. Ndiri kunyepa here angojedzika?
Aiwa mzunyewa.
Saka isi tiri kuda kuti tione bidding, mabhidha akabhidha, because hakuna company one inonzi ndo yakabhidha ndobva yatopiwa basa. Tikuda kuona futi mamwe mabhidha vakabhidha the same project, then tochizota follow up kuona kuti vakaauthorize nevakaanalyze kuti iyi company ngaitore, iyo company iyo imbori yani. Ndosina toda kuziva izvozvo.
Yes.
Ndeyani company? What is the name of the company?
Because apa vanhu manenge mukatarisa kapa pari kunzi total yemari yacho ka yekurenovate was 372,260. That's the total. 116,000 yakaenda kuperimeter wall and perimeter wall demolition and reconstruction. Jurahall. Kupasa Jurahall. Nekurivaka zvone pakare. This happened between June and August 2022, and there was no open tender, for that. Then marketing and on them lounge, bedroom, office, my staff quarters, and the procurement threshold was also ignored. To end up from a bedroom upgrades, you super king bed, ne queen beds, nema pillows, samira no waiter, $130 each. Then to end furniture and decor, yaka costa 57,874. And the wakatenga ma chandeliers, ma lampshades, nema flower and vases. Parliament irikunzizwa yakataura iyo kuti the suppliers vakasarudzwa for their artistic and also there were qualitative reasons that were used for choosing the suppliers. So the Auditor General found that there were 5 payments that exceeded US 20,000. There was no competitive bidding. The suppliers were handpicked, including sons-in-laws, and there was a clear violation of procurement regulations. What the Auditor General rejected was, in procurement, there's no substitute for a procurement law does not allow test as a substitute for tendering. Kuti iwewe wasipakwa nechinhu chawaona iwewe wototaura kuti izvo ichi ndakutochida ichi hazvina basa rekuti izvo ndinge ndiende kutenda. Ndopatiri ipapo. Yes, ndopatiri ipapo. Wangosipakwa zvako iwewe, iyo Bartholomew wangosipakwa zvako nechinhu ndinge chawaona apa. Wotongoti this thing chikaichi ndatochilavha. Handabasa kuti izvo ndinge choita mari. Yes.
Kungoti wangoona chawaona wotoflota everything kuti hazvina basa izvo.
vese zvawaonewo ukaona shandaliya rinhingirine rine maglazi atanga akadesignwa kunge Charlie's Angels wakutongoti I'm going for that.
Mweya werudzi wapinda munyika.
Kushaya
Curtain. Munoziva kuti 65,000 angojedzeka. Signage yaya yekunyora yaya kuti high extent zone 60 kilometers per hour. Chichichi. Do you know how many kilometers, how many segments you can cover with that amount of money? Let me move away from the signage. Let me go to the fence. Why I put my dongasa pinda highway? You know how many kilometers? It's not gonna kuiswa kuma side road kuti vanhu vasafa. Vanhu vasafa madongi nemombe zvingo crosser so. You know how many kilometers you can have, especially uchitotenga wire kunana China. You know how many kilometers you can cover with that amount. But izvezvi takatorasikirwa vanhu vari kufa each and every day, ma-accidents vachirowa madhongi nemombe, road yakashama, ma-highways akashama, hana fence. Asi maketeni akakosha, maketeni chete, maketeni ekuti munhu anga ari mumba.
Kuprivate residence yake.
Kumba kwemunhu ndo kwakosha stereki kupfuura even x-ray machine. Then mozouya panapa nevamwe vanhu vasingatozivi matogets vakatanga kuona matogets manje vakuda kutiudza manje kuti matogets akaita sei nemabumgate slots. Isisi takutolectwana manje nababa Shona akutotirairidza kuziva matogets. Isisi takaona matogets 20 years ago. Iye akatanga kuona matoga even chinhingi chacho chinotonamirwa pawindscreen. That is a flop. The e-tag should be somewhere even hidden, not even like that, and it must tag, not that silly thing which he was trying to show us.
Why not demonstrate? What
is that? How many e-tags we have been driving through in diaspora? In Zimbabwe, it started in 2024.
Right.
Now you want to tell me how the e-tag works. Isisu manje atichaziye matogate manje nema e-tag manje.
Vanhu vari mudiaspora andizoimimi ndimi munoita noise because you don't understand some of these things.
No, Uncle Jets. Kana Mike Chimombe na Moses Mpofu ka vachinzi vakasungwa ka vachisungirwa kuti vavaita zvavaita ka. Tinoda kuti putis the same report ya Auditor General imonite ma-evaluations tione kuti what's exactly transpired, who authorized it, how the transaction. You can't do cash payments for such amount of money. State, how is it recorded?
Yeah.